Hey there guys, what's up? It's your buddy mikeyperion here, and I hope you have a great day because for today we are now at episode 15 of our iCraft Season 5, and now we're running this stone factory at the same time, which is totally awesome, right? I mean, we're not having that much of a lag in the server while running this stone factory, well, both of them. Well, I'm totally happy that this is actually working pretty well, and now we can have as much stones as we can from this farm. Basically, well, we can continuously making more massive builds, and as well as, of course, well, making our episodes, right? But anyway, so well, welcome back to the iCraft server. I think this is the first episode since we have an issue connecting to our server. So well, welcome back, and so far here's what we have accomplished so far. Well, we already have done a couple of live streams working on these well aesthetically build, but for now, of course, we're gonna continue working here, and I also have to show you guys on how efficient this hostile mob farm is. So basically we have two of them, and on this side, well, I already have used some of the gunpowder, but still, well, we still got enough of them. Well, this farm is totally efficient. As you can see, we got a lot of this stuff. Now for the gunpowder, like I said, we already have used them, but for these other stuff, of course, I'm not sure on how we're gonna use them. But anyway, so well, we're gonna continue running the stone factory, especially that we're gonna use them for this episode. But what we're planning to do for this episode is that we're gonna expand our base. So well, most of the cobblestones that we're generating, I'm actually moving it to this smelter. So basically on this side we got a cobble, and I'm just transferring to these smelters manually, so at least we can have all of them, like, you know, the regular stones, because we are going to use those stone bricks later on, because what we're planning is to expand our base. So I think because our space right over here is not enough for our city, so what we're planning is to expand all of the sides, all of these corners to this direction. And as well as on the top part, what we're planning is to make an harbor, something like a curved fort, because on the top part, what we're planning to build there is actually the statue, the giant statue of Perion. So well, that's the plan for this episode. But before that, while we're waiting for these stones to be smelted, so while we're running these stone factories, so what we're planning to do first is actually to make an access on this side, because well, we got water elevators on the side, but on the midsection right over here, we're still planning to have like some sort of like stairs going down to our collection system, and as well as the smelteries. At least we can check things out very easily. So well, what we're planning is to make some sort of like staircase going down here to the ground floors. At least these smelteries, these chests, are actually accessible from our control on the top, and as well as on this side, probably just to make things, you know, symmetrical. So anyway, so well, without further ado, well, let's start building the stairs, right? In order for us to make these staircases look more stable, we're adding this reverse block on the bottom part, so at least it will not look that flat, right? So far, well, here's how it looks like. So basically, I think this is passable enough. Well, yeah, so at least we can have this area very accessible going down here. So at least we can check this out. So like I said, well, I guess this is pretty necessary. So let's add a couple of more reverse stair right over here. Probably we can use some sort of like a half slabs on these bottom parts at least. Well, just to make things look more stable. And yeah, why did I remove that? That was not intentional, no. And adding a bit of this lighting, so at least we can make things look even nicer, right? I think this looks, well, it actually adds to the decor in this place, especially that this place is totally looking bare, right? But so far, well, here's what we have for the staircase, and most likely, of course, we're gonna make another one over on this side. So let's check things out on the top part. So basically, we just need to copy this, but on a flipped version on this part right over here. So basically, of course, we're gonna have this on this side, another staircase. So well, let's just flip that thing on this side and let's do it. And well, I guess we're done with the staircases, and I think we already have enough stones for our next project, which is going to be the expansion of our platform. So as you can see, these stone factories are already in halt. So now let's check things out before we get to our work. So let's take a flight. So well, this project is going to be somehow, well, tedious to do, because we're gonna expand this base, some sort of like adding the layout on the side to see on how much we can expand this platform. So basically, first thing that I'm planning to do is something like to work on this side, so at least we can already see the geometrical shape of this platform. So first thing is we're gonna have some sort of like beams on the sides in order to connect the bottom part to the top part right over here. So basically I'm thinking like we can do by two slant if we're knowledgeable about, you know, how to make geometrical patterns here in Minecraft. So basically, of course, I will gonna need a lot of stones. So well, I got a couple of these here. And probably let's try to grab two shulkers of the regular stones. So well, hey, we got one here, and yeah, probably we can grab this another one right over here. Let's move this andesite to other shulkers, so at least we can, well, have some more space. Let's try to move this on the shulkers. So temporarily, well, just remember that we got some andesites on the shulker, right? But anyway, so well, let's grab more of those regular stones. So basically, like I said, we're gonna need a lot of this, and probably, well, I think two shulkers still are not enough. But well, while waiting for these stones to be smelted, of course, well, you have to wait, right? Well, even at nighttime, well, we still have to work, right? But anyway, so well, we're trying to make this some sort of like overhang beam on by twos to have this some sort of like this angle that we are going to need. So basically, I think this height is enough. So probably on these edges, we're gonna have 3 block high in order for us to make some sort of like this sign. And the next thing that we have to do, so I think this is already parallel to our platform. So the next thing that we have to do is, of course, to add some more lighting in this beam. So well, let's grab some probably we can use some sort of like stone walls. So I think it's well, it's good enough for us to have a combination of these stone walls and as well as some sea lanterns in order to lighten up those edges. So at least even at night, we'll have some sort of like, you know, layout or outline on the edges of our platform. So what we're thinking is like we'll have some sort of like star shape. So, well, I don't know how it is called though, in some sort of like three-dimensional star. Some sort of like a triangle or a reverse pyramid on this side. So well, that's actually our plan. So first, well, we're gonna have some sort of like this pattern. So basically, we're gonna implement these some sort of like design in all of the outlines that we are going to make in this outline. But anyway, so let's add some more of these sea lanterns, so at least we can lighten up, and at least it will also be visible during nighttime. And well, at least to add some more beauty in our build, right? Well, making this geometrical shape is getting more complicated though. But I don't know how to explain to you this, guys. But this angle is something like 3 by 2 by 2. So something like we're going to have this moving towards like 3 moving on the east and 2 on the north and 2 as well on the height. So probably, well, yeah, we're just trying to make some sort of like this angle in order for us to accomplish like a shape of a reverse pyramid on this side, just only on this side. What we're actually, overall, what we're trying to accomplish is to make some sort of like 3-dimensional star on a reversed platform. So at least we can have like, you know, the flat area on the top part. Well, that's the purpose of this. That's why we call this like the platform, right? Well, it can be called like a city platform, but not that platform where government are actually trying to promise us when they're campaigning, right? But anyway, so I know this is kind of tedious to do, especially that we're gonna do this a couple more of times, and probably, of course, well, my brain will gonna hurt while we're trying to finish this. So, but anyway, so well, it's still part of this project, I guess. And so we already have accomplished 2 of this beam, and we already have connected these with some sort of like this line going to that direction. So probably, I guess you already have some sort of like a bit of an idea on how we're going to do this. So basically, we also need the same thing. We need to do the same thing on the side right over here, and another beam going to that direction. And as well as, of course, we are also going to connect that later on. But anyway, so let me try to finish this at least. Well, probably I can explain it better, I think. later. And so now we're almost done with placing all of this lighting for the outline of this platform. So basically we have used sea lanterns in between these stone bricks. So basically I think this design is gonna be good. But of course, probably we're also gonna cover this up with some sort of like platform planes. Oh, that's kind of delayed though. But anyway, so far, here's what we have accomplished so far in this some sort of like platform expansion in our base. So well, I guess it will look nice, especially if we're gonna cover this up with some more, flat areas on the side when we have some sort of like, place the planes. Should I call it like that though? But anyway, so far, we already have done in this area. So probably we're gonna do the same thing on the other side in order for has some sort of like the symmetry, and as well as in all of the corners on this part right over here, because we got other plants on the northern part of this base, right? But anyway, so the next thing that we have to work on is on this side, similar to what we have done on the other side. So probably, let's check things out. So I guess, there's nothing much of an obstruction, but probably, let's just continue building this, right? And of course, probably on the second time around, this is gonna be much easier, right? But anyway, we're actually done on this side. We just basically flip the pattern on what we have done on the other side. So basically, yeah. So this is done already. So the next thing that we have to do is actually on these corners right over here. And probably, of course, this is gonna be a different some sort of like a pattern because this is on a different angle, right? But the concept is the same, and probably hopefully that part right over there is not actually obstructing our build, right? But anyway, let me try to do this and I'll be back. Well, on the first attempt, we have accomplished this, but basically, of course, I don't want to try to like explain to you guys on how we have done this. So basically, of course, this involves a lot of math, a lot of numbers, especially geometry, which I don't want to make this episode like, some sort of like a geometry class. But anyway, later on, of course, we're gonna see on how this will look like. But of course, like I said, I don't want to explain the things that I'm trying to do here, right? And now we're trying to finish off this design or pattern that we have on this corner. So basically, we have implemented the same pattern as what we have done on the side, but on this corner, of course, it's on a different angle. But basically, of course, it's like the combination of stone walls, stone bricks, and as well as with some sea lanterns. And now it's time to move on. So now we're gonna connect on this area on the mainland. So basically, of course, what we're planning to do here is to have on this side our main entrance for our city. But anyway, let's try to connect to the mainland by using, the same pattern as what we are actually, trying to implement in all over the sides. But anyways, I'll be back. And so on this area, this is where we are going to have the entrance. But anyways, we're done there. So now it's time to move on this corner right over here, which we are actually going just to implement on what we have done in the other corner. So basically, same thing, same thing. And placing the last couple pieces of this block for this corner, but of course, on the sharp edges of these platforms. So basically, we're almost done on this face, and yet, and placing the last block, and yeah, we're actually done. So this looks perfect, and yes, so let's get back to our map. So let's also place like some sort of like a bridge right over here, so at least we can easily go back to our main platform, right? But anyway, so let's go back there. So after this, we are also going to make our platform for our harbor. But for the meantime, of course, let's torch this up just to make sure that there's no mobs that will gonna spawn there, right? But anyway, so let's take a look on the map, and of course, we have done almost half of our task for this episode. So yeah, so basically let's update this because I actually look this from time to time as my reference for making these geometrical patterns, right? But so far, it looks really nice, right? So we got this perfectly shaped star on the bottom part right over here. And of course, we still need to do something on the top part where the harbor is going to be. So basically on this area, we still need to extend this map, right? But anyways, of course, I'm gonna do that later. So now what we're planning is to make some sort of like horns on this direction on both sides. So basically, we still need to extend two more parts on the top part right over here because this is going to be our harbor. So let's check things out. So let's get over there. So first thing that I want to do is first to make an outline on the sea level, just a temporary outline, so at least we'll know where our direction is going to be. So well, let's try and do it. But apparently, there is something bad happened to my recordings, and well, I cannot actually use those clips because well, my OBS doesn't record the screen, this game screen in center. So basically, it was actually some sort of like zoomed. So the recordings or the video clips was not centered to this game. But anyway, so well, here's what we have accomplished so far. So basically, I've done some recordings on while we were making this, but apparently, well, I cannot use those clips. So far, well, we have some more complex design on this section because we have this some sort of like swirly stuff of patterns. So basically on this side, we got some sort of like sharp edges, but on the other side, we have some swirly thingy going on there. But anyway, so well, let's check our map. So well, already I've also extended this. So far, here's how it looks like. So we got some sort of like a shape of a manta ray or some sort of like a stingray or even Luke mentioned that this looks like an arm. So but anyway, so on this area right over here, this is where we are going to have our statue. So well, yeah. So let's take a look on the actual look of it. You know, what we have accomplished so far. So basically, this is just an outline. So we're gonna follow this shape of our harbor. So basically, of course, well, we are going to have some sort of like a bridges and docks. So we're gonna have some beams on the bottom part, and on this section right over here, this is where we are going to build our statue of Periona. So it will be gonna be a ginormous statue, and hopefully we can accomplish that in the future, right? But anyway, so well, the next thing that we have to do for this one is of course to put the outline on the top section where we are going to actually place the platforms. So well, similar to what we have done on the other side, but this one is on a swirly patterns. And well guys, if you have noticed, our shader is now off because we have just migrated the server to 1.14.3, and of course the Optifine is not yet compatible for this one. But anyway, so well, let's continue. So basically I already have made these circular shapes in this part because this is going to be some sort of like pillars that will support our platform on the top, and we're gonna connect this with some sort of like bridges. And probably on this section, I'm still thinking on how we are going to connect on this side, but probably we're gonna have some sort of like sea wall. Well, I'm not sure because we got some windows on the bottom part, right? Well, I still need to figure out on how we are going to work on this, but probably let's just prioritize first the outline on our platform. But anyway, so well, let's do it. And well, this actually took me time to do this outline for this harbor because this is quite complicated though. Well, I'm trying to explain some clips earlier. I mean, I'm trying to do some explanation, but apparently I just came up with this formation because I kept on changing the plans on how we are going to work on this. But for the meantime, let's just connect on this section right over here because what we're planning is to have this level by level. Well, it used to be like a gradual transition going down to that last part of this platform, but apparently, well, I guess it will not work since we're gonna plan to put some sort of like buildings on this section. So probably, well, I guess we have some sort of like 3 levels in order to cut this. But anyway, so well, actually after this, we are also going to, of course, do the same thing on the other side, but on the flip version of this one. But well well, after this, I think this episode is also taking so long now, but apparently, of course, well, we still have to continue finishing this, so at least we can already accomplish something that really looking impressive for this episode, right? But anyway, so well, we're done on this section right over here, and the next thing that we have to do is just to copy on the other side but on the flip version. And well, let's do it, and well, I'll be back. And yes, we're actually done with the outline, but apparently, of course, I wasn't able to make some recordings. But anyway, so well, the last thing that we have to do here is to put some sea lanterns and as well as some stone brick walls in order for us to have the similar design on what we have done on the other side. And I'm also gonna do this in a form of a time-lapse montage, so at least we can have some sort of like music for this episode. But anyway, so well, let's start this montage. well, I also have removed these temporary blocks that we have here. Well, yeah. So, well, I guess we're done. We're done, at least for the outline of our platform. But probably, of course, we are still gonna cover up this with some sort of like blocks and, of course, the pillars on the sea level. So, well, let's take a look at what we have accomplished so far. But without the shader, it doesn't look really good, right? But anyway, so probably, hopefully, we're gonna get an updated version of Optifine soon. So at least we can already have some sort of like, fancy feel in our world. But so far, well, let's take a look from above, which is actually the best view of what we have accomplished so far. So, well, here's how it looks like. And yes, well, this looks pretty impressive, right? And as well as on the back side right over here, we also got these sharps. So probably we can entitle these episode like the sharps and the swirls, which I think that's what we have accomplished so far, right? I mean, well, this looks pretty impressive, especially on this angle. I really like what we have done here, especially that, well, this is a lot of geometrical, mathematical problems, right? But anyways, then, oops, yeah, my radar distance. But anyway, so, well, I'm totally happy with what we have accomplished so far. And this is really challenging and mind-boggling and mind-puzzling and whatever. But anyway, so, I think I already have recorded a lot for this episode. But anyway, so, well, I'm gonna try to make it even shorter probably in the future. But anyway, so, well, at least we're done. We're done for this episode, and I'm totally happy of, oops, why did I press escape? But anyway, so, well, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment, please leave a like, and make sure to subscribe. This has been Mikey Perion, and I'll see you guys next time.